Hello there, I'm Martin. I have COPD emphysema and I was diagnosed about 12 to 14 years ago. And I did smoke. I started smoking when I was very young, at 13, continued to smoke, was diagnosed with COPD, and it got so bad I was actually referred for double lung transplants twice. The first time I had to stop smoking for the transplant team to even meet me, but I continued for a while smoking, and then decided that I actually collapsed in front of my daughter at the top of my stairs. And that was really one of the first key points when I decided I need to do something. And I went to hospital and the doctor had asked me, have you stopped smoking? And I said, no, I haven't stopped. And he said, so in essence, you're just causing yourself a slow suicide. And them words really hit home. So I decided that I needed to do something. I started doing pulmonary rehab, and that worked really hard at that. And they kept me doing it. Normally it's an 8-week course, but they kept me doing it due to the fact that it was keeping me healthy for the transplant. And then eventually when I met the transplant team, they decided that I was actually too healthy for a transplant. So I was sent away and I continued working hard, doing the pulmonary rehab. By this time, I'd already stopped smoking and chose never to smoke again due to the fact that I have had a young family. I had a wife, and I wondered how they would ever cope with it without me. So I decided that, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And so I actually made the sacrifices and it benefited me. So after having met the transplant team, I continued doing pulmonary rehab, and then I had a collapsed lung, ended up back in hospital, and they re-referred me to the transplant team. The transplant team then re-examined me, went through all the x-rays and everything else, and decided that they would put me forward for lung volume reduction surgery, which I had in 2005, 5 years ago now it was. So I'm now 5 years down the line. But the benefits of this were that the double lung transplant on average is only a 7-year lifespan, whereas with the lung volume reduction surgery, I've still got my own lungs, and therefore I'm not on any timescales. I joined the Lung Health cross-party group at the Scottish Parliament to try and help other people with lung problems, and Professor John Lockhart contacted me through this about getting involved with the Breathe programme, due to the fact that obviously trying to encourage children to stop smoking, or not to start smoking as the case might be. In which case I went to Coopbury School and got involved there. I'd done a talk. I was only meant to do a few minutes talk about smoking and my experiences with COPD. And it turned out, I think I was talking for about 15, 20 minutes. And then the children got a chance to ask questions. And it was just a show of hands and lots of questions and lots of, why did I start? Why did I stop? And everything else that was involved. And it really seemed to be a very good platform to get into schools to encourage children not to smoke. I done it for my children. I've done it because I wanted to see my grandchildren walk my daughter down the aisle. Well, I now have 2 grandchildren, and I walked one of my daughters down the aisle. So all I can say is that the Breathe programme is brilliant from the point of view that it gets to the children and gets to where the problems arise with the smoking.